control the network, we've looked at the demand configuration, and then we started looking at the evaluation outputs and the result listing. Now we get into the error documentation portion. Now, we've already talked about errors and warnings, right? So we have these red X errors that are simulation breaking, which we don't have in this model. We do have some warnings about vehicle models being missing and things like that. And we also have an error file where vehicles are getting deleted at specific times in the network that you'll want to make sure that those are all recorded and validated. Um, and here specifically, you want to check for reasonableness of these errors, right? So you're going to go through this error file. If there are a lot of cars happening all at the same spot, you'll come back into your Vissim model and you'll go look for those locations and see if it's a driver behavior issue or if it's like a one-off kind of issue there. Um, and then here, errors that are produced by the model runs are documented and explained, right? So in this case, there should be some sort of companion document, just like we have with the calibration document, that documents, okay, why are these errors happening and why can we ignore them, or what are their knock-on causes that maybe we can account for and things like that. So you want to make sure that those are all documented um, and discussed with the modeler or the consultant. So let's give that a try. So again, we're in our model. We're going to come down to our check simulation errors and warnings. So here you're going to look at your menu item, right? There are no messages, but in our working directory, we have some error files. So why don't we go take a look at some specific errors. So simulation number 1, I'm going to open this up. And I got a recording from 7,200 seconds on for my animation. I didn't record the whole simulation because that would be an even bigger file. That'd be 3 times bigger. So what I want to do is I want to see if we have any time intervals that are within our presentation window. So my animation recording somewhere between 7,200 and 10,800 seconds. Open working directory. Where's my file? I had it open. There it is. So we're looking for errors that happen somewhere between 7,200 and 10,800 seconds. So if we look here, we see a bunch of them right here that are all in that range that we have in animation recording, right? And so we're looking for vehicles on link number 361. So let's go find link 361. Let's hit show list. I'm gonna find 361, highlight it, and then I can right click on it and I can say zoom. All right, so we have a bunch of vehicles on link 361 that are getting deleted because they can't make a lane change. And they're all getting deleted at this 904 feet. So let's find that 904 foot mark. It's like right around here. So my guess is that they want to be making a right and they can't get into the right lane, but that could just be my guess off the top of my head. And it's happening quite a bit. So let's just pick a time. Simulation second, 7706. So I can hit the animation play, and I'm running the same simulation. So this is from simulation number 1, and this error file that I'm looking at is from simulation number 1. So I can find that specific time and location, right? So I can come up here in that error file. I probably don't even need to jump ahead, but here we want to see our error file. Where was it? It was, excuse me. Here it was 7706. So I'm going to say go 2 second 7706. 7706. And so what we can see is we have a bunch of vehicles stacked up here. And if I zoom in far enough, you can see that these cars all have their turn signals on and they're all trying to turn right. So this could be an issue with the lane change distance, right? I can go ahead and use my graphic parameters and I can look at check or was it lane change configurations, right? And since it's not reporting anything, if I zoom out far enough, the um, label is only reporting the lane change distance if it's not the default value. So if we look at this connector right here, it doesn't have a label, so that tells us that it's that it's set to the default lane change distance of 656 feet. So if I measure back 656 feet, what this is saying is that cars, even though they know they have to make a right turn, they can pick any one of these three lanes before this point. And so some of them are choosing to be in the right two or the left two lanes. And then after they cross that point, they try to get over. So you see a bunch of people trying to jump the queue and things like that, and then get over at the last second. Another issue with this could be that there's a really heavy right turn volume. And so this queue should be much longer, and there's just not enough run up time to account for that, right? So we could increase the lane change distance, we can increase this run up point. But what we're seeing here is that a lot of vehicles are kind of stuck at this location and they're trying to merge in at the last second. And so the vehicles in the middle lane are able to eventually find a gap, but the vehicle in the leftmost lane is just kind of sitting there for a long time. And that diffusion time is 60 seconds. So if a vehicle can't get in within 60 seconds, it just gets deleted out of the network. And so that's where you're going to look at the error file. If you have a recording, you can go to that spot and you can say, okay, what's happening at that spot, and you can kind of pinpoint what's happening and give some recommendations back, saying, okay, everyone's stacking up kind of across all lanes. Is that because if we look at the routing, is the routing correct? If we look at our vehicle routes, right? We click on our static route and we look at all the turning movements that go that direction, right? Only one path is going straight and all the rest are headed down to the freeway. So there's a lot of volume going that way. Well, let's take a look at our vehicle input. Vehicle inputs, right? So here's our vehicle input. Our vehicle input has a flow rate of 6,600 vehicles per, or 660 vehicles per hour, which is about 11 vehicles per minute. So 11 vehicles per minute are coming in at this location, and they're all trying to turn right. Do we have enough throughput? Do we need to adjust the yield conditions? Are these the right numbers? So these are the things that you're going to be kind of looking for with these error files. It's just kind of documenting why are these errors happening, where are they happening, and trying to give some context as to whether or not they are reasonable or not. If that level of congestion is what you're expecting to see, then that's totally fine. What you'll want to do though is you don't want vehicles to be deleted at this location. So what you'll have to do is come into the link and you'll want your modeler to take this link behavior type, urban, take a look at what driver behavior is being used with that link behavior type, right? And they're using the urban driver behavior. So you go into the driver behaviors, and the factor that's deleting those cars at that location is in the lane change section, this diffusion time. So if in the field you see that level of congestion, if I hit play real quick on the animation, if we see this level of congestion in the field, and this is appropriately modeled, then we can clear this error by just coming into the driver behavior and increasing the diffusion time, right? Make this say 120 seconds or something like that. So it's not deleting quite as many vehicles. Because for every vehicle that gets deleted here, that's one less vehicle that makes a turn onto this ramp or that goes through a downstream node. So you don't want very many vehicles being deleted.